We can just dance the night away until we get no more. Shake all the hurt away so you can feel and forget who you used to be. But just tonight, could you just dance the night away?
Because there's more missions outright that he can do. Also, there's warrior skills I want from him. But he has more, like, freedoms and stuff like that. And he's really close to being almost max. He's at 12. I still can't believe we were sitting through that whole cutscene while that kid got pelted in the back of the head. It was hard not to giggle my butt off watching that happen. Kid's all scared. Oh, I'm scared. He's dangerous. He's just getting pelted in the back of the head by an undead bone minion. Such chaos, typically at such times for men to know what is right and what is wrong. Difficult, but not impossible, I suppose. Glad to see you. Follow me. Okay. So we have to guard him, I guess, why we go that way. Let's try this skill. Ooh, that looks like fun. I love the axe. I mean, I like the axe in general. Like, I liked it in Guild Wars 2, and I don't see it being any different in Guild Wars 1. So aggressive looking. Ooh. Man, I was so close to dying there. I'm not complaining. It was just so sudden. Is that just a starter? Slashing axe. What's that compared to the one I'm using? It's better. Heck yeah. It doesn't have... No, yeah, it's just better. It's just better overall. Okay, never mind. I was like, it might have more, like, effects or something. No, it's just better in general. Hello, boys. I have returned with a vengeance. And I come back with an axe. This time I'm not wielding, the bow. Or it was a bow or a sword or something. It was something I didn't necessarily need. I know, game. I know I'm spamming the spacebar and C. It's kind of flickering between the two of them. And then it doesn't really help. It makes me feel better, okay? It makes me feel like I'm doing something right. Even though I'm not. I think we just skimmed in. We can keep him alive. Oh. The fighting just suddenly wasn't near me anymore. We just kind of walked into the other room. We're like, nah, see you, man. I don't really care about you anymore. Dang it. I was hoping that healing would kick in sooner. It's okay, though. Okay. Iron shield. Oh, I can use a shield and a axe? That's cool. I mean, it makes sense. That might also really help me, too. It's unidentified. Hold up. I should identify it. It's just highly salvageable, but that's fine. There we go. We'll get rid of everybody. You're in my way. We want treasures and loots. Glory. And you're in the way of that glory. Eerie relic. Yeah, that does look pretty eerie, doesn't it? It's like way over there, too. He's running off in the distance. I mean, he can at least defend himself. Man, there's a lot of enemies here right now. The fire was helpful. Man, a sickened Moa just sounds sad, you know? There's a lot of animals out here that are just hurt. That's so sad. Poor bears. Like, what is this sickness that they're saying? It's such chaos, yeah. Well, you know there's chaos. Bumped him by accident, clearly. He's leading us in such a weird way. I mean, I'm okay with taking on animals if it's gonna be this walk in the park kind of thing. Okay. I think my C buttons don't work. What value? I don't know. I kind of wonder what the hammers would feel like. Hammer in Guild Wars 2 feels amazing to wield as a ranger, because I like using it with my ranger, Soul Beast, because it breaks bar. Now, in this one, I don't think there's bar breaking, so I don't think it matters as much. Like, it's not, like, a factor. But it's just fun to smack the tar out of things and make them stumble them. I love, like, making them, stunning them so that I don't have to worry about their crap. Also, here's the thing, right? Scribes. I just noticed this is a scribe here, and this scribe is an actual attacker. It's a shame that scribes in Guild Wars 2 isn't valued. I mean, like, most scribes are guild masters and officers and stuff, but I really wish that it was better delivered on it being an actual class or an honorific within a guild. But really, it's just whoever is basically the sugar daddy or mommy for the guild. It sounds horrible, but that's the truth. And it makes me mad because the decorations for guilds should be fun and there should be more of them. And there's not. And they're expensive. They're expensive to the point that a guild can't really contribute as a unit to it, you know? I kind of wish that guilds could be, like in Guild Wars 2, I don't know about Guild Wars 1, I've not been enough in Guild Wars 1 to know, but in Guild Wars 2 it'd be nice if all guild members could work towards a goal, while also not interfering with their single player experience. Like, it'd be interesting if in order to, you can get guild, like, accommodations or rewards or stuff by, doing missions for the guild that's builds quote-unquote guild currency or guild favor, and then guild favor can be used to buy supplies. Like, use it as an actual trading thing. I feel like guilds don't have real power like that, and it's a shame they don't, because it'd be amazing. They would make it so fun to be able to, because then if you get guild members who are casual and who say they got kids, a job, lots of expectations from them and stuff, then they can still contribute and be a part of it all while also still progressing in their own game, you know? Being able to do, like, bounty huntings, like, okay, go kill, like, 5 veterans, and then get as a guild, you know, like, or as, like, on a bulletin board in the guild hall. I think that honestly, I want a bulletin board in the guild hall that gives missions that are kind of like dailies or weeklies, which are doable for the player, or you could pick them, and it'll tell you if you've got the map's location or the expansion. It's not too much to ask. It's not too much to ask for a bulletin board that guild members can pick missions from for XP, loot, and rewards. It doesn't need a budget. They have bounty boards in like the like expansions. It's not hard. They don't even have to do fancy things like go mine like stuff. They could just be like, go kill this boss, go do this thing with your guild's tag on and this contract in your pocket. All right, that could be the only requirements. That you have to have the guild's tag on and the guild thing in your pocket to make it work. All right, that to me would make it just fine. I just think it'd be interesting. Because then a lot of guild members, because a lot of people don't join guilds in Guild Wars 2 at least. I don't know about Guild Wars 1, but in Guild Wars 2, they don't join a lot of, some people don't join guilds because they feel like they're a burden to the guild, because they can't devote 2 hours of their day, every day, to try and go do raids and strikes and not be able to do their own personal stuff, because most events in guilds will take you like in somewhere between 30 minutes to an hour or 2 hours depending. For instance, if you're doing a raid, it may take you 2 hours first try go around. You may not, if you're good or like you guys are experienced raid group, then it probably won't take you as much. But all guilds start somewhere, you know? And sometimes you just have a bad luck of the draw. NPCs act weird, whatever, right? And if you're doing like guild missions, it's gonna take an hour or two, depending on how far into the guild missions you actually go. Depending on if you're just doing like the small stuff or the big stuff. If you're doing strike training or doing strikes, depending on how many you're doing, can also be somewhere between 30 minutes to an hour, right? Make it to so it's a lot, and then on top of that, you're cutting into people's time to play by themselves and to experience the world via exploring, story, whatever. You're cutting into their personal progress with that. So allowing them the ability, my beloved, you came for me, thanks to the gods. Aw. Oh. Precious treasure, my heart soars to see you safe. Aw. Okay, this is even better. I do love this. I love this way better. I must level with you, my friend. There is no treasure. I don't care, but my beloved. No, dude. No. This is the best type of treasure. I am completely content with you dragging me out in the boonies with arrows and knives on my back to save your beloved, okay? Treasure is an ancient... though her name means precious treasure in the ancient tongue, I suppose she is not quite the treasure you were hoping for. I apologize for the deception, but I do not think anyone foolhardy enough to come in here with me simply for the sake of helping me find her. I will not ask more of you. We can find our way back safely. Here is something. Oh no, man, it's fine. It's really good. I'm actually completely content with coming and helping you find your lady. Okay. All right, we're gonna go back this way. Like, come on, man. But I think I just want guilds to have this thing where if you are casual, you can still benefit the guild by doing XP or or doing these bounties, and it gives the guild currents or favor or whatever, and they can use it to buy crafting materials. Because I do think it sucks that guilds do not have A, any power, B, require such a level of coordination to do things that casual guilds or guilds that have people who are busy become a problem, right? And that's why a lot of guilds have requirements on attendance and stuff, which is bad because it kind of ruins the experience in a lot of ways if it's all about the attendance of it and less about just enjoying it with your friends and stuff, right? It puts a lot of pressure on people, and I just think it's bad all around. But if you allow players to be casual, then it's not a big deal for a guild to have activity, right? So they won't be like, okay, cool, so someone hasn't been active in 6 months. They won't care, because in the end, if you're there and stuff, they may like have like for instance, our guild's casual. So our guild has a 6-month limit, and we don't really enforce it obsessively because a lot of us have families, friends, stuff like that kind of thing, right? But if we want to run like raids and strikes and be hardcore with it, we'd probably make it like you would have like a month. Like I think most guilds have like a month or two as their limit before you're kicked from their guild. Sometimes it's even less, depending on how hardcore that guild is. And that's really sucks that that's a thing that happens. Because games are meant to be played, even in group games, it's meant to be played with your friends and with people you make as friends and fun people that you encounter in games and stuff. And if you have to base it off their attendance, it's no longer a game, it's now school, you know, where you have to take attendance of people's heads and head count people, right? But if you make it to where casual players that come back, or casual players that can only play like once or twice a day for 30 minutes, can go in and do a few missions for the guild and get guild points and be able to get guild accommodations to buy rewards with the guild, because the guilds do have some really cool things, but you have to do guild missions to get them and stuff. Well, some people can't attend for guild missions and things, and limitations for that. And that sucks because they want to be a part of it. I have lots of guild members who are like, I'm a nurse. I can't just drop everything. I have to be on call. I have, you know, they have 12-hour shifts. You name it. Like, it's just not something that they can devote their entire existence to when they have a job and requirements. And people's lives are on the line, you know? And then I've had people who are like teachers or who are parents. We had one guild member who is literally a dad. And all of his kids are like teenagers. He was mentioning this. And you know, he mentioned they were older and stuff. He still is a dad, and he still has to be present. He still has to have family nights. He still has to like spend time with them. He has his wife that he has to like spend time with, and she's not much of a gamer, or at least not Guild Wars 2 specifically. You know, that's fine. Like, there was no shame in that, and he's still part of the guild, and he just does his own thing, right? And he shows up for things when he wants to, but he says that like he doesn't have time to just dump it into a game hours upon hours upon hours. It's not like me and a few other people who enjoy who I didn't play games for a living now, but even before that, I spent hours. I would spend all of my free time playing games because it was my hobby. It's my favorite hobby, other than doing a few other like things like sewing and reading and stuff. Right? We found their village. I like their little tents. Look at these. What is it? Okay. I see this here. This thing here. Is this a grill? Like, is it a window? Like, is it a foot up? What's going on here? Anyways, hey, Trouble. If there was a good time for outsiders to visit, it certainly is not that time. My father's murderer has made us very strangers. Has died of the plague. That is terrible news indeed. But your story sheds light on your recent our recent troubles. We have been reports of the Tungu killed by strange beasts previously unseen and hereabouts. It sounds familiar to these afflicted creatures you described. And here are summoned to destroy the beasts. But since they're okay. So you guys are also having problems, and it's not a good situation. That's fair. Okay. But yeah, so like, I think that guilds should have tasks or duties, or imagine being able to tell, like, having guild members have tasks that guilds set into place. Like, a good thing that like some guilds might like, if you're a raiding guild, for instance, you might go and say, hey, we need someone to cook 30 eggs for us. It might sound silly, but the eggs are meant to like help you. That thing is gross. I've seen it before, but it's still gross. But like they can have you make 3 eggs or 4 eggs or whatever, and then you can give it to the guild for for a trade of funds. And then by doing that, they can take the eggs you crafted and put them into better stuff. Because a lot of times, exotic foods in Guild Wars 2 is crafted with lower tier foods that you break down and make seasonings out of. They're not called seasonings, they're called essence of something, but I call them seasonings. And then you make them into acidic foods. So essentially, if you could make it to where there's a mission for your guild members who are specifically certain professions, and have them break stuff down with a trade of currency or map, guild currencies and stuff, then the guild member gets something out of it, but the guild's also getting something that they can use towards their raids, their strikes, their trainings, maybe even use them as a tutorial thing for players who are trying to like work their way up. All right. While you were away dealing with the plague creature, left a message for you. Apparently, several of your fellow students are visiting on the master. Has a sense a growing threat in the area, and he believes that the students might be in mortal danger. Okay, so we go back and help our friends. They're way over here, yeah. So, I guess we could walk all the way over there. It shows I can walk all the way over there, or I could teleport, but I'm just gonna walk, I think, because it, what do you do? But yeah, so it's interesting that, like, guilds could be as, like, a Guild Wars 2 has a lot of events that can be done in groups, but it doesn't have a lot of things you can do as an individual that helps your guild. Because I feel like a lot of single players who don't have time to devote hours and hours to a game feel bad. They feel like they are a burden, like they are a problem. I had guild members be like, I can't guarantee I'll be as active or I'll like the game or whatever. And I'm just like, if you don't like it and you don't come back, then it's fine. Worst case is we kick you from the guild. We end up like kicking you from the guild for inactivity, but I was like, and even if you do, there's no bad blood. Like, I was like, if you were to get kicked from the guild and come back 6 months later and be like, hey, I want to join the guild again, we've got an opening, we'll just let you back in. Most guilds are like that. They're not bitter like that unless you do something really horrible, unless you like bully people or you become a nuisance. There is examples of like, okay, you've been a problem and we're not letting you back in. But in most cases, they're not going to be like that. Like I said, you have to kind of do something to deserve that. But my thing about it is that a lot of players who are by themselves are like, there's no point in joining a guild because I'm just going to be a problem. I'm just going to be a nuisance. I'm not going to be helpful. That kind of thing. And if a guild member could essentially, as a single player, still be helpful, I think it'd make people feel better. And it'd make guild activities go up, as well as giving guild members who can't participate for the with guild events still have the chance to get guild accommodations and stuff. Because there's a lot of good rewards for doing guild missions, but a lot of times people don't want to sit there and do them because they take so long. And even when they don't take that long and you just do the small ones, it still takes time out of their time to do their own farming and stuff. And there's so much that they have to do for personal growth to be able to be comfy. So a lot of people who want to do it are people who are veterans and have got all the things they want, or they got like a majority of the things they want. So they don't mind taking 2 hours out of their day to do something because they've got everything. They're like, oh, cool, I'm just gonna go fishing, or I'm just gonna go farming, or I'm just gonna do this. And so you offer to do something event-wise, and they're like, yeah, let's go do this thing. So they as I said, it's kind of like sad in that regard. Okay, so how close are we? We're still kind of ways away. But yeah, it's one of those things that's like, it could be done better. I feel like it's a very outdated way to do things. I also think it'd be kind of cool if different guilds had different builds to their guild, like similar to how your own class has its own build. Like rangers have their own sets of skills, warrior has their own sets of skills and stuff. I think it'd be cool if your guilds also did that. For instance, if you're a casual guild and you guys do fishing together, maybe that's what you do. Then you have more stuff to help each other with fishing than you do just, anything. What do you want? You know what I mean? Like, there's things you can do other than that. Okay. I'm gonna keep going. Where's this one at? It's back the way I came. Okay, well, let's go do that, I guess. I've already came that way. I literally came that direction, so I might as well just go back and continue. But yeah, so it would be interesting if you could have special things. If you're a guild, for instance, if you're a guild that raids, then it'd be nice if they had some kind of raid training dungeon thing, or like a dummy that you could put in your guild hall that gives you raid rotations. Meaning, if you're like sitting there and you could practice it, because I think that there's something in raids specifically you can use for that reason, or that way, but it's different when you do it that way than it is to actually go to your guild hall and do it. Another thing could be going to guild NPCs that sell raid-based things, or you could find items that give you you can go up to this NPC and say, "Hey, what kind of other achievements on raids should I do that are interesting?" And then the NPC could tell you, like, lead you to the raid your raid achievements and stuff if you're curious. That kind of thing, or even certain NPCs that trade with you for raid-related things, right? The reason I think that that'd be cool is if you're a guild that's focused on that, or it's your main priority, then having a little section in your guild hall customizes your guild hall experience and covers it. Another thing is if you guys are a farming guild that you guys like going out and doing PvE stuff, you might have more nodes or farmlands type stuff. Maybe even just growing low-level foods like maybe cabbages or carrots. Because I do think some guilds would definitely do cabbages because they think it'd be funny to do cabbages because of that one char that doesn't like you getting into his cabbages. But yeah, or guilds that do fishing, maybe having an actual dock with docking NPCs that actually give them stuff that let players kind of customize their experience in a way. Is it you I need to talk to? Oh, look for the captive. Okay. You look like capable. Sorry, not capable. Oh, he followed me all the way here. I didn't even notice that. Well, I got you here because we followed my path, so I guess it's fine. Works. Anywho, but like I said, it would be interesting if, like you could, customize the experience for that. Because some guilds only do one thing. Like, for instance, the arena is only used for PvP, really. But there's plenty of other guilds that use the PvP arena for different things and whatnot. But a lot of guilds that are PvP and World versus World actually, and some dungeon guilds I think do too, use the PvP arena for stuff. But I think that, like, for instance, if you're doing a World versus World guild, that you should be able to have a different kind of arena specifically catered to World versus World if you want it. Same thing with dungeons and stuff. Another good thing could be practicing rotations with a dummy in a arena involving a specific boss. For instance, with a raid, maybe if you guys' guild does a raid enough times as a unit, or as a majority, like say you guys go and represent, and you get so much of the raid currency, you can buy a raid fight, which just means that you can buy a section of the raid that you can simulate in the arena, within reason, and this allows you to simulate these different things, which makes training easier because then guild members can go there and train either with a unit or with themselves, especially if you can get it to where NPCs can be rented, similar to how you have in Guild Wars 1 where you have a bunch of NPC minions. Bring those minions in and put them in raids, stuff like that. So if a player feels that they want to get into raids but they've been rusty and they haven't been able to attend with the group, but they want to practice the rotation or practice a thing, they can go into the guild hall, go pick up some NPCs, buy the raid thing, settle the raid going, and fight the boss. That kind of thing. And then they can see if they're doing well or not. And that lets players have a chance to practice, because some people are a little bit more shy as well, so that they could have a Snowcrow build and that stuff ready to go, and then they could just be like, okay, I'm gonna go practice and do these things, and it's gonna be great, Maybe I should have just went over here. I thought it'd be closer. It's fine. We'll just travel back here and do it that way. But you know what I mean? Like, let the guilds pick for themselves what they want as an option. Especially if you make it to where they can either be selective or make it to where they can't have everything. That could be another thing. What do you want? Farmer sent you to find me. Okay, where's this at? Oh, it's over here too. Okay. But yeah, we are. I guess we'll have to do it next time because we're getting at that point. But yeah, like I said, I think there's so much they could do that could be customary for that. I think it'd be cool if guilds could be like, oh, well, we don't really want the PvP arena, but we would rather have the nodes. Or we don't want the PvP arena, we'd rather have this track or something. Because I feel like a lot of guild members would want that. They'd customize their guilds or their guild hall specifically, especially with guilds that have sisterhoods, where they have like 4 different guilds attached. I could see them even having one guild for World vs. World, one guild for raids, one for open world, that kind of thing, and having them like that, and then they can have them these different guild halls set to their desires, which is cool and would be interesting. I also think that sister guilds should be able to be counted under the same banner. I think that if you want, I really think that you should be able to cascade them together, which means that if you have sister guilds, they will all be under the same banner, but you have to, you can all attend these different guild halls, that kind of thing. But in order to do it, you have to pay a fine, and you can make a limit to where there's like so many guilds you have, because most sister guilds I've seen, they only have like somewhere between 2 and 4, right? Some of them have 3, but I haven't seen very many go past 4. But each time you like buy an expansion to your guild's account, like numbers, then it like goes up in price. I also think that if you have sister guilds, in order to make it easier to represent on the controls and stuff, you would still have the names, because some of the guilds have like names. Each their sister guilds have a different name for them, or they have similar sounding names. So if they get similar names, you can make it to where they're either one banner, or you can make it to where there's multiple banners, like there's different units and stuff, almost like different legions of armies. It'd be great. But no. All right, so we are gonna switch to the next game. It's gonna be.
And we can just dance the night away until we get no more. Shake all the hurt away so you can feel and forget